Hello, welcome to Timeless Conversations, a channel where we talk about life and adulting,
the ups,
the downs,
and everything in between. My name is Sharon.
And my name is Robina. For those who are new here, welcome to the family. Please don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell so that you're the first to know when we upload a video. And those who have been here with us before, we appreciate you, we see you, and we are glad to have you. You may notice a difference in our set today. 1/3 of us is missing, but she's taking much needed time off, but she'll be back soon.
Yes.
Yeah. And in today's episode, we'd like to talk about burnout and rest. Burnout is that state where you reach and you are on the go, and you don't get a break, and then your body starts giving way. Your body starts showing you signs of you need to rest. But sometimes we're not even willing to rest. We are not even, we don't have the opportunity to rest. So that's what we want to talk about. Sharon, do you have any experience on burnout? Was there ever a point where you felt like I'm burnt out, I am exhausted, and share with us an experience and how you were able to navigate that season?
I could be burnt out now.
Right? Very
Right.
possible.
But when you talked about like how you just keep going, and you think that, I can do it. I can, one more day, one more
I'm a
step.
strong woman.
Right? But it reminded me of, cars. Or maybe any machine really. If you make a car move non-stop and you don't get time to maybe go and service it, and you're thinking, no, it can still move. It will still continue moving, but it will get to a point where it will just break down in the middle of the road. And I don't know why, but for some reason, all those situations happen at a time when you really don't want the car to break down on you, and maybe you're rushing for a meeting.
Those things.
Like for something really important. And I think in the same way, our bodies are the same. Now, burnout for me, I would say I've had episodes every now and then of burnout. I could probably be going through a season now as well, but I would say I can tell when I'm like, I think I'm really tired now.
That's a good thing that
Yeah.
you can't even be able to identify it.
Yeah. So I have had several seasons of being burnt out, and I would say working, being a mom, having a business, and all those things can all contribute to, having burnout, because you're not having enough rest. You just, like you said, going. So I've had several episodes of burnout. And I think for me, this year, the main cause for the burnout has been a decision I took, and one I still stand by even now, not to have like a living house help for some time. Yeah, it has given me burnout episodes, but yeah.
How are you managing?
I would say one day at a time. One day at a time, indeed.
But also, how do you identify that at this point I'm extremely exhausted and I need to take a break from this craziness? How have you been able to identify that?
I mean, I would say, and it's not even just like home, but work has been like equally stressful and things like that. But first of all, maybe being a mom, let me use the example of being a mom. I'll find myself being more irritable, not even just being a mom, but a wife, a friend. Generally speaking, you find that, you're more irritable. Yeah. And for someone, like people who know me, know that usually I'm like a happy-go-lucky kind of person. So when I find myself like being irritable, I'm like, yeah, I think I need to take a pause. Like I feel like maybe I'm overwhelmed, stressed, and yeah. So for me, that's how I know. And then also like feeling tired all the time. Like, you know how you sleep, but you wake up and it's like, did I even sleep? Yeah.
But isn't that something that happens to us in our 30s, in that flow?
I mean, yes, there's
Like,
that.
do you
but
ever get to rest on that flow? Man, yeah.
How about you?
Anyway, for me, the time that I really felt burnt out properly and I realized that I was actually burnt out was, I think, during COVID, when like there was that phase of lockdown where when in Uganda you hear the president saying therefore, you start paying attention to what he's saying after a very long speech of things that you didn't listen to.
Like when is it going to get to that point when he just says that one word?
Yeah, so about that time, I was working up country and there was a lot going on. And for some reason, I really enjoyed my work there. But also it's the one that gave me the most burnout. The work was so fulfilling, so enjoyable. Like for some reason, I was happy there. I was enjoying the work. I was at my best self. However, it also gave me the most burnout that I could remember. I think because it's something that I was enjoying, so I kept going at it. Like, you know, I love this, so wake up in the morning and, you know, fire straight to the refugee camps and work. So because we were sort of essential workers, we had stickers on our cars, so we were able to move even during that time. So I didn't really get a break. I think we had like a 2-week or 1-week break, but that was about it. So we kept working, and then, you know, the lockdown issue, the isolation.
Yeah.
We were working, but you really can't interact with anyone. First of all, you're in fear. Then even people who know that you're moving around fear you. So for some reason you're by yourself, but you're working. So at the end of that period, I didn't like the work anymore. I didn't, and I only lasted there 7 months. After that, I really just found my way out. I didn't like the work anymore. It stopped being enjoyable. And at some point, I would take days off and just be in my room, not even draw the curtains, just be there, maybe watch a series, like from morning to sunset, into the night, into the next day. Remember, you couldn't travel up country to meet family, so you're just there. So the weekend would be just crazy in the room doing nothing. So burnout can sometimes look like depression, by the way.
Exactly. It can result in depression.
Yes, it can.
Because you can move from burnout, stress, and then before you know it, like you slip into depression.
Exactly.
If it's not taken care of. Yeah.
Man. So for me, that time is when I realized that I needed a break and I needed to start doing the things. But remember, the things that I love. But remember, up country, you are like the things that you love are probably not there.
Like dancing, salsa.
Exactly. So I realized that I need to do something different for me to be able to start feeling different. Because I recognize that there's a problem here. I can't just be the whole weekend in my room doing nothing. I need to go out there and live.
Yeah.
So what I did was start going to the gym. Man, the gym was 3,000 shillings. Less than $1.
Oh, wow. I know.
Yeah.
It's less than $1.
So I went and paid, I think I paid for a month. I think I even left some money there, which I didn't complete, but I started going to the gym and I started feeling better. I started being more alive, being more like myself after that. So for me, that was the most vivid experience of burnout. Yeah. So I wanted us to also talk about how do you think burnout manifests itself, like generally, not just from your experience?
You know, when you were talking, you reminded me of two things. You know that saying back in school, I don't know if you remember it, too much of anything is always
Always,
bad.
yeah, yeah.
And you know, you said you actually used to enjoy what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, I think it's a misconception that sometimes people have. They're like, ah, if you're doing what you love, you know, there's no way you can get like burnt out or anything like that. But actually, even when you're doing something you love, for example, even a mother who absolutely loves their
Ooh.
kids, a woman who absolutely loves her husband can get burnt out from having to dote on this kid
Yes.
from like morning to evening.
Yes.
And I would say maybe for like, it's, I don't know, I'm not a stay-at-home mom, so I can't relate entirely. But I can say from the point of even in moments when maybe I've spent, let's say, like the whole day with my son, children need attention. And there is no way as a human being you can be like the entire time. You need to have a moment where you pause. Now, when you don't do that, you find yourself in a space where you literally want to just explode and
I know.
hey. So
You know, I used to think that it's only my son who keeps calling me, mommy, 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 mommy. Like even when you respond, he'll just go on and on, mommy, mommy, mommy. The other day, I was in a restaurant and this kid called mommy. If I was to count, could have been like 50 times. Mommy, mommy, and she wasn't responding. I think she's used to it. It's just like
It's
music
just
to me.
yeah. Oh wow. My
Yeah.
mom would laugh if she had this
Why?
because I used to the mommy out of her.
Now, they are
Even
mumming
as a
them.
young adult. But yeah, so like burnout can honestly like come from anything. It can be because of, you know, work. It can be because of things we actually love to do, but because they are putting us under a lot of mental exhaustion, if I may, because it's not even just physical exhaustion, but like a lot of mental exhaustion, and you feel like you're not getting enough rest. You can find yourself in a space where you're burnt out. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, burnout is not just for like physical exhaustion. There is mental exhaustion. There is even just social exhaustion.
Oh, yes.
Of where you are exhausted from interacting with people. Anyway, maybe it's just an introvert thing, but there are days you just need to sit alone in your silence and enjoy your own company because you've been out way too much and interacted way too much that you need a break from that. So yeah, burnout can come from close to anything.
But you know, it's not just an introvert thing, it seems. I mean, I'm an introvert. Though my friend, I have a friend who believes with all her heart that I'm not an introvert. I am an introvert.
I also
you're an
think
extrovert on your
me,
own.
I think you're an ambivert.
I know, I think I'm an ambivert, yeah. But I have this friend, and oh my gosh, she's like such a social butterfly, yeah. But she has these moments when she's like, I feel like right now I need to retreat and be in my space, yeah.
Okay.
But then she was telling me that sometimes she finds that hard to do because then she's thinking, okay, now this person is going to be like, okay, why isn't she talking to me? Is she mad at me? And things like that.
It's literally in your head.
Exactly, like it's all in your head. And because she's like the kind of person who probably can't be in a space where everyone is just maybe she feels like the silence is getting awkward and things like that. But she was telling me how she's now in a situation whereby she's like, I'm in this space and right now I feel like I need my space, but I don't know how to tell this person that I need my space because she'll get hurt. She'll probably start thinking that, you know, I'm tired of her, or maybe I've done something or she has done something. And so when she starts like being quiet, then people are like, are you okay?
I know because she's always the lively one.
I know.
But I think we need to kind of give people grace, even the extroverts, even the ones that, the social butterflies that are the life of the party. We really need to give them grace and understand when they are quiet and they need to be quiet. They need to retreat and they need to, take a break from being a social butterfly. I think we need to accord them that and not think that they are not okay.
They're human
because they're absolutely okay and just need a break. From my experience, what made me really realize that this is getting too far, I'm completely burnt out, is when, like I told you, I loved my job. I loved the work that we were doing there. Because I've always been in the back scene, I've always been in the Kampala office, where it's just really administrative and liaison things and meetings and stuff like that, but not the real work. So when I got to the upcountry office, it was go, go, go. And I loved it. I felt like I was in the middle of impact. I was right there causing the actual impact. And it felt really good. I really, really loved it. But even that thing that you love can cause you burnout because you're not stopping. So for me, at that point, I felt guilty to even take leave. I was like, who is going to take care of these things when I'm away? Who is going to make sure these refugees are paid? Who is going to make sure, like asking questions of things that are obviously going to be settled, even if you're around or not. But because you're so attached to it, because you love it, you do not want to take a break from it. So I used to feel so guilty to even ask for leave. I'm not sure I even took leave, by the way, in those 7 months. I don't think I did. So I only took leave, I think, at the end when I'd already resigned and I was...
You had your accumulated days that
I was switching to the next... Right. When I was switching to the next job, I think I took a 2 weeks off of just spending time with family and doing nothing. But even the fact that you are guilty to take leave,
I know,
is such a huge problem because you need... I know organizations where they literally force people to go and rest, take your leave.
There are some people, that they always say, you go. Like,
you have too many leave days and you're not taking them. So we shouldn't wait to get into that position of you're not giving yourself a break and now your employer has to force you to go and take a break. And then the fact that I was feeling guilty of taking a break, I feel like that was the epitome of getting burnt out, but I didn't know. I just thought, I'm doing what I enjoy, but even what you're enjoying brings you fatigue, brings you stress. So you need to take a break. Yeah.
When you talk about guilt, one of the things that can make you realize you have burnout. I remember the moments when I'm so exhausted, so tired. Remember, of course, you feel like you're not getting enough sleep, so you start waking up late. Then you're late for work.
Everything else becomes late.
Everything else becomes late. You get it? Everything else becomes late. Even your productivity, if you're not careful, can also be affected.
That's true.
But of course, it helps if, you're good at what you do. That you can somehow make everyone else believe that, I got this. And things moving.
Right.
But when deep down you are dying. You're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. But it's so easy now, like I said, people like me who, it's so good. It's so hard for people to know that we are maybe tired and, you need to rest. And I would say maybe as an employer, like you say, those people that they have to just force, go on leave. Some people actually need that. Yeah. So if you're in a position whereby maybe you have a friend, you're an employer, you should be in position to look out for, your people, your friends, and help them out because, the guilt can be killing me when I am late.
I know. But also that you should know that that's the time to take the break.
I know. But you see now, like sometimes you want to take a break, but like you said, like I take a break and then what? Like
Let
who
me
is
tell
going to
you, one thing my
to
mom
always
keeps
sort
telling me
itself?
that work will never end.
It never ends.
And whether you're there or not, work is going to go on. They might be challenging when you're not there, but it will go on.
How
So
about those jokes they make, Mbu? If you die today,
they replace
they'll
you. It's the harsh truth,
I know.
but they'll replace you.
I know.
So don't
I
let
know.
yourself go to that point where you are dying.
True. True.
But it takes a lot of courage and even being self-aware to know that this is the time that I need this break, and not feel guilty about it.
Exactly.
Me honestly, I still feel guilty about taking leave up to now.
You shouldn't.
It's not as much as I used to those days, but it's still that little. I feel like I leave a gap.
I know.
And it's going to make the rest of the team feel a bit of that gap. So I still feel it, but nowadays I will take leave and tell you people, do not call me.
But the beauty in that is when they go on leave, they'll also leave a gap and you'll be able to cover the gap.
I know, but
So you're there for each other. In that moment, it doesn't feel like
exactly.
that.
It never occurs to you
Never.
in that way at that moment. So, man, it's tough. It takes courage for you to get to that point where you know and can truly identify that I need to rest and actually go and rest. Another thing that I know that could be a sign of burnout is a shift in priorities.
Oh, yes.
Of your family has always been your priority. Your work has been your priority. Something has always been your priority. But all of a sudden, you're doing something else. You're not as focused on this particular thing that you usually focus on. So I feel like that is also one of the signs. Usually when your priority shifts, just check and make sure that I am not burnt out and I'm not trying to, compensate in this other area. If some things about you are slowly dwindling, for example, if there are some things that you used to do effortlessly, but now you have to practice extra hard to be able to do it, or you have to put in a lot more effort to be able to do it, I think that also could be a sign that you're burning out and you need to take a break so that you come back recuperated and able to do it as effortlessly as you used to do.
I mean, that's the thing, the effortlessly. Because like it takes a lot more work, a lot more energy when like you're exhausted physically, emotionally, and all that than it would when you actually well rested. So it actually does help to rest.
Right?
You come back when you're re-energized and
Yeah, talking about rest. Is it easy for you to just know that I'm burnt out? Let me go and rest.
No, it's not.
Oh, I thought it was a me problem.
No. You see, I'm the kind of person that if I know something needs to be done, like leave alone work and other things, but for me, it's mostly when it comes to like things that I know if I don't do this, there's absolutely no one else who's going to do it. However tired I am sometimes, I'm like, this one, let me get this done with. But of course, in the process, you think you're ticking one off, but now one other thing is going to suffer. Yeah,
I know.
So it's not easy. It's not.
I mean, I think we need to prioritize rest and not feel guilty about it, or even make it something difficult or rocket science of I need to rest, but then I have to first deal with all these other things before I go to rest. Take an example of God. He did not choose to
Right.
create the world.
Like what better example is there?
Thank you. He did not choose to create the world in one
Marathon,
day. Because he could.
He
It was just
actually
a matter of
could.
speaking. Yeah. It was just a matter of speaking. Let there be. Let there be. Let there be. And there was. But he spread through 6 days. He spread through his creation journey over 6 days. And he rested on the 7th. Who are we?
Small
Miyamotos.
human beings.
To think that we can go a whole year without resting, you know?
Yeah.
So we should take an example from God himself, from the Creator himself, and know that rest is something that he designed for us.
Yeah.
Have you ever reached a point where your body just says, I cannot go any further? Just like the car you mentioned. Like your body just gives way and forces you to sleep and forces you to rest.
I know
There's
someone.
You do? Tell us about it.
Personally, I try as much as possible not to let my body get to the point of like, now I can't help but sleep. Yeah, but I know of someone, a certain gentleman called my husband. So there's this time he had a trip. He had some work
So you're just going to give your husband away like that?
I mean, we are being transparent, at least as transparent as we can be, right? So this time he had a trip, work, not a trip. When I say a trip, I think he was going on vacay or something. So he had work in one of the neighboring countries, work in Kenya. So he had to drive there. And then it was, I would call it, maybe it was like a workshop, but for like students. And you can imagine what workshops are like. When you're just
Even
an
just that
attendee.
drive
Yeah, even just the drive,
from
by
Uganda
the way.
to Kenya.
Thank you.
It's not an easy one. With a stop at the border that takes forever.
Thank you. Now, when you're just an attendee, you're bawling like, oh my gosh, it was so fun, what? But when you're behind the scene, it is work.
Yeah.
So it was like a whole week of like work. Then he comes back on Sunday. Yeah, I'm like, hey, Bambi. Of course, he was definitely tired. I'm like, yeah, I think you should stay home tomorrow. Take some time off and rest. I was like, no. I can't afford to rest.
I don't have that luxury.
See, I have this. I'm like, okay, all right. No, but I think you should rest. It's like, no. So I wake up following day in the morning. He wakes up. Then I go to work. Then I think he went. No, I don't think. I know. I left him sleeping again. All I did was like, please come and close the door because we have one key that we use. In the evening, I'm coming back home from work, like around 5-ish there. So I call him like, I'm Nangi. Someone said he was going to go where? He wasn't going to stay home. So I don't want to go and reach the other door is closed because there's no one home at the moment. So I reach, I'm calling, no one is speaking. I'm like, Nang, is he working? Maybe he's working, doing some work, or in meeting somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. Like, okay. Like, what, let me just go home. If I find the door closed, I'll go to my friends, the neighbors, and sit there until he comes home. So I reach home. I first knock on that door. No one is opening. I increased coca volume. And then he came, opened the door. You know how you come, you're sleepy.
The eyes are closed.
Like, all I want to do is to open this door, go back and continue what I was doing. Came, opened the door, went back straight to bed. Of course, as any good wife, I knew he was tired. Like, I left him. So I sat, I also did my things, 6, 7, plus some hours. And then finally he woke up. So I'm like, say, you can't cheat the body.
You cannot.
You cannot.
You can't.
Like you can go. But when it's almost like it's mental. Like your brain also knows I know you have these things to do, but it's not a must. Like now, let's
can
shut
first
down.
rest first, then you can go
Like
and
time
do
for
them.
us to shut down, and then. But yeah, you can't cheat the body.
Have you ever fallen sick and you go to hospital and they're not finding anything? I feel like those are the moments where your body is telling you you need leave. But now, since you've refused to take your annual leave, let us take sick leave.
That's when they give you this. It's a common diagnosis. What's it called?
Which one is that? Bacterial infection? I don't know about that.
I've forgotten the name. If you know the name, please tell us in the comment section.
Because
why are we suffering alone when you're there? But
so
yeah, it's
there's
very
a time
common.
I felt sick. I went to hospital and there was nothing they're finding. They did a CBC. They did what? They just told me, Robina, you're anemic. My what? What are they called? Iron levels were low. They told me eat a lot of liver, take a lot of porridge, and that was about it. But I was feeling sick. Kumba, I just needed rest.
Yeah, like you literally feel sick.
So I went back home, followed the doctor's orders, took enough millet porridge, took enough liver, and just rested. And I started getting better and went back to work. So let's take rest seriously, as serious as God.
Yes, took
a day off out of the 6 days to rest, and also told us, take that one day off. Yeah. We could go on and on talking about this thing called burnout, because adulting is not an easy thing. There's just so much going on. I remember I was watching one of a certain podcast, and the guy was saying that his mind is like, there are always conversations going on in his head.
Yeah.
Like, it has never been quiet. But there's a time that he felt sick, and I think it was burnout. He felt sick and he went home, sat down and just like absorbed his environment. Tried to clear his mind off of everything that usually goes on in his head, and just talk to his wife and be present, because usually he's there, but he's thinking about how will I make more money? How will I pay these bills? How will I do this?
How will I clear URA?
Those things. Man, talk about URA. It has stressed people. I think it has caused the levels of stress to business owners.
Honestly.
So, man, there's so many factors that can stress you out, cause you, prolonged periods of
pressure,
of stress, pressure, and stuff like that. But recognize that sometimes you just need to take a break and rest and recuperate and come back a more lively person, come back a more rejuvenated person, come back a better version of yourself. Because honestly, if you don't rest, this burnout can cause you to be grumpy, can cause you to be irritable, and you take that out on everyone around you, which is not a good thing. So let's prioritize rest, just like God did. Let us prioritize, let's be self-aware and be able to identify those moments that that you need to rest and actually take the rest. Thank you so much for coming this far into the video. Just a quick reminder that don't forget to subscribe. Please check if you have subscribed, because so many of you just watch when you're not subscribed.
But thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. But it would be nice, and you would support the work that we are doing here. If you subscribe, give us a thumbs up, because it helps the video to go to more other people and cause the impact that we desire. Until next time,
bye.
Bye-bye.